Hey guys, I'm here, Coach Eric here, interviewing Coach Corey with one of our interviews of the coaches, so you guys can get to know everybody better. Corey, how you doing?
Good. Glad to be here. I'm here every day, so just another day.
Glad to be here again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Here's some
perfect,
more.
perfect. Right on. So this is gonna be our first wave or practice of interviewing the coaches, getting you guys to know them just a little bit deeper. Even though some of you guys might get to know us in classes, there's a little bit more dimension to us as well. I promise. I might even learn something new as well.
Maybe.
Yeah, we'll find out. So, Corey, tell me about kind of where you grew up and all that kind of goodness.
Yeah, so I grew up in Oklahoma. I lived there most of my life. I was actually born out here, but I was really little whenever we moved.
Okay.
So we moved to Tulsa, grew up there, went to high school there. I actually moved back to California 3 times. Third time stuck.
Okay.
Stuck. First time I was a junior in high school. I moved out here and I went to school here for maybe like a month
Okay.
and didn't like it. And so I ended up moving back. And then after I graduated high school, I moved out here and I lived here for a weekend and
Successful.
really had priorities in line for that one and
Yep.
realized that wasn't the right time for me to move out here. So I ended up going back. I went to a year of college at a community college in Tulsa,
Okay.
and then ended up coming out here for the third time. And to be honest, that was kind of like the perfect timing.
Okay.
Everything kind of fell into place at that time. It's actually how I started CrossFit, was right at that time. Met a lot of people that kind of led me in this direction and ended up kind of being like a blessing in disguise that it took like that many times and that many tries to get me to the people and to the places that I really wanted to be and ended up being
Okay.
here in the long run.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, what you said it just wasn't the right time before, right? What brought you out here was different family members, right?
Yeah, so my parents are divorced,
Okay.
and both of them remarried. My dad
Okay.
and my stepmom, they were moving out here. I kind of had the choice whether I really wanted to come out here with them or stay and kind of make my own decision. I just kind of wanted something different, I thought, so I moved out here in high
Right.
school.
Right.
Didn't really stick because I went to a school that was pretty small, and then I went to Tesoro where there's
Oh.
thousands on thousands of kids everywhere.
Yeah.
So it was an adjustment. Didn't really feel
Right.
comfortable there. So I went back, and then the second time I really just didn't have any plans. I literally packed my car and drove out here, and then had nowhere really to go or anything. So
Okay.
I drove back home.
Okay.
So yeah, it just took some growing up and being mature and
Right.
realizing to have some plans before you go somewhere.
Sometimes that's good. Yeah. Sometimes, but
helps.
you never know. You never know.
Yeah.
So obviously different time of life now, being out here now versus before.
Yeah.
What do you see different than Tulsa? What do you like? Do you like it more here? Do you like it more there? Are there different perspectives? Like what?
I definitely like living here. I've thought about, like if I were to move from here, where would I go?
Mhm.
And there's not a lot of places that kind of check off all the boxes. You can get to the beaches, you can get to the mountains, you can get to the desert if you want to go. There's just so much access to like all these different types of places,
Right.
different activities and stuff. The weather's really nice. I don't miss snow at all. I don't miss like rain, like it rained here, but barely.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's definitely a different lifestyle. It's bigger. There's more people. There's kind of a faster pace generally, but it's something that I like.
Hmm.
It's got a little bit of everything for everyone.
It feels like home now.
Yeah, honestly, I couldn't imagine not living here. And when I go back to visit Oklahoma, it's actually a bit of a culture change to go back to that now because I'm not used to that kind of lifestyle or pace. Really.
Right.
Yeah.
So you kind of said when you really came out here, you found CrossFit at that time.
Yeah.
And that was because your family was involved. Yes.
Yeah, actually, so my first day in California, I did CrossFit for the first time.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
There you go.
My stepmom was doing it at the time. She got into it actually through my stepsister was playing basketball for a club team that was doing it at a CrossFit gym.
Oh, okay.
And they're like, "Hey, do you want to try out CrossFit?" And I was like, "All right." And so I like looked up the gym that they were going to and like found some pictures on their website and kind of saw what the inside of the gym looked like, but had no idea really what CrossFit was. So I showed up and I can't even remember what the first workout was, but I remember thinking, I was like, yeah, like I'm in shape. I played basketball for a long time. And I know the workout had like wall balls, kettlebell swings, like box jumps, burpees. It was just like a whole mess of things. And I remember doing like 5 wall balls and being like, I can't do this. And I think I was like told the coach, I was like, yeah, I think I'm getting like dizzy or something. Like I need to take a break. And I was
Yeah.
just dying on the inside.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was a humbling experience to like get into
Okay.
it, like everyone has whenever they start, you know.
And you stayed with it because your parents did it, obviously, because you weren't probably paying your own membership and you weren't making those
Yeah.
decisions, I imagine, as much,
So yeah, I
right?
wasn't paying for the
Okay.
membership. They ended up paying for it, but
Nice.
I was really lucky because from I think probably like my junior senior year in high school, I knew I wanted to pursue kinesiology,
Okay.
and I knew that was a route I wanted to go. I just didn't know there was so many avenues.
Mm-hmm.
I thought there was really like personal trainer or a physical therapist,
Right.
and but I really liked that idea, and I had a coach that was really influential. So when I came out here and I started doing CrossFit, I was like, oh, this is like a fun way to train. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
not, you know, kind of boring or typical and stuff. And never really thought about it until one of the coaches there, one of the owners at that gym was like, yeah, if you want to intern, you can intern. And they had no internship program. They had no
Yeah.
structure. It was basically like I just hung out. And so I would like bring some of the coaches coffee. I would like sit there for 4 hours and just watch them coach, or I'd vacuum at the end of it. And actually that's how I got to do muscle ups, was
Oh,
just while I was standing there watching them, I would like try a muscle up and just sit there and try a muscle up.
okay.
So I learned a lot just by watching them. And some of their things were really valuable. Some of the things were things I thought were really valuable until I became a better coach and then
Okay.
learned
Okay.
better things.
Right.
One of the things that one of the coaches told me was fake it till you make it. And I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Like just pretend like you're really confident.
Right.
And I think people see through that a lot faster than you just admitting you don't know it.
In coaching, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So I learned to just kind of like, you know, tell them I didn't know. Or,
Yeah.
you know, try to give them the best answer, but still like not really have their answer for them.
Right.
So that was like a good lesson to realize that like some of the things I learned really early weren't really the best way to do it. It's a short-term fix.
Right. Side note, it sounds like we should start an internship program if we want more coffee and more vacuuming.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Get free coffee every day.
Yeah. Maybe we're on to
Yeah.
something. Maybe they were smarter in some
Yeah.
ways than we think.
I got a free gym and free coffee, or
Ye-
free gym cleaning and free coffee.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
But okay, so you got into a little bit of coaching then, or kind of got to test the feet there. What really made you think kinesiology? Because not everybody that actually coaches thinks of kinesiology. Like, what was the interest there, or why?
So really what it came down to is, like I said, I had a coach in high school that he was the assistant basketball coach on our team.
Okay.
He was by far more influential than the head coach because we spent so much more time with him
Mm-hmm.
in the weight room, like traveling and all this kind of stuff. And I talked to him a lot, and we kind of had the same mindset. He went for kinesiology. He like really pushed us in a way that like seemed weird. Like it seemed really over the top and intense of like, he really wanted us to improve like explosiveness and stuff. And like, we just want to play basketball.
Yeah.
But we didn't really
Yeah.
get like what he was getting at until then it kind of all made sense. And I was like, man, this guy's really smart. Like he knows what he's talking about. We just didn't really know what he was talking about.
Yeah.
And so that really made me want to pursue it. And I really, I guess, just got lucky probably that I fell into CrossFit at the time I was starting college, because if I probably would have went into kinesiology without either the fitness experience or the coaching experience the little experience I had, I probably would have switched to, you know, business or something. It's something that probably wouldn't have been as relevant, but it kept me going and it kept me motivated. And it was really like, once I started to see the carryover between the two, like I could find the really like scientific, very, you know, laid out or detailed side of it that was like the lab setting and like kinesiology. But then like the realistic side, which is like we deal with humans every day and like people with jobs and have good days and bad days, and like they're not trying to be an Olympic medalist, they're just trying to be healthy. So you could have the best data on the max terminal velocity and the max triple extension you could possibly have, but if they're just here to like hang out and meet some people and be healthy, then it's not really going to do them much good.
Right.
So still hard. I love to talk about that kind of stuff. Like when you get to like nerd out on it, it's fun.
Right.
But then it like there's another way, is like trying to put it into another language that people will get.
Right.
You know, almost like trick them into it.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. And that's the hard thing that we have in our world,
Yeah.
right? Is we're dealing with everyday people, which is amazing and we love, but sometimes we want to be like nerdy.
Yeah.
But a lot of times people don't care.
No.
Some do.
Most don't.
Most don't.
Yeah, most
not that
don't
we
at
work
all.
with. Some
Yeah.
really do. Some like it. But I've made that mistake, and you may have in the past coaching as well, that we're like talking all these big words and interesting things that we really enjoy.
Yeah.
And then they're just kind of like,
Yeah. And what I think I eventually realized was that was just feeding into my own ego of just like, let me tell you how much I know.
right.
let me show you these big fancy words that I know and stuff. And at the end of the day, like if they don't understand them, then it's just me getting to like flex my brain, on them. And
And you're
it's,
the only one enjoying or appreciating it.
yeah,
Yeah.
it became useless to a point. And really what a big change was, the Joplin Center where I
Okay.
coached.
So tell us about the Joplin Center and what
Yeah.
you did there and how that kind of all worked out.
So the Joplin Center, it was a juvenile center up in Trabuco Canyon. It was around since like the 50s. It's
Yeah.
been around for a long time. Um, for about 4 years, we ran a pilot program where we had fitness for the juvenile kids in the center. So
Yeah. So
that was a good behavior
Yeah.
facility for kids that were in juvenile hall. So if they were in the main hall in Orange, they were on good behavior, they get sent out to the Joplin Center. It's kind of like it looks like a summer camp. Like They have woodworking, they have classes, they have things that kind of get them away from like the inner city.
Right.
They kind of teach them that it's not all about like the inner city life and gangs.
Right.
So we put a gym up there, and it was really like, here's a budget to buy what you need and have fun.
Yeah.
And so I went in like not knowing anything about any of the kids, what they wanted, what I was expected to do. And I just went in coaching like I expected to coach a class here.
Yeah.
That people wanted to be there and they didn't. So it was a weird adjustment, and it was finding ways to motivate people that weren't really motivated, or communicating to them why it was important to try things, or things like that. Like they come in, and most of the time what they get from authority figures is like negative feedback.
Yeah, good point.
So trying to get positive feedback or reasons why they should be positive or try things and stuff was a weird thing to like convey. But yeah, so I mean it taught me how to like speak a different language that wasn't what I wanted to say, but had to get across the point, and I feel like that carried over a lot.
Yeah, no, it's kind of like even what they teach in like the kids seminars a lot as well, and different types of things. It's if you can teach it to kids correctly, or adjust with kids, or a demographic of people that might not be there as interested as you hope, then you can easily teach it to adults.
I think one of the probably the most like standout things of the kids, or the kids seminar.
Oh yeah,
was they were like talking about like angry gorilla for the deadlift, and it was like if you pose like an angry gorilla, it's kind of like what a deadlift position looks like. And they're like, yeah, this pretty much works for adults too, because they're pretty much just grown-up kids.
Yeah.
Like all the stuff that you learn to teach kids, like adults get to. And like
Yep.
once I realized that, I was like, all right, like it can be a little dumb, but as long as it gets their attention, then they're going to pay attention to it too.
Let's be real, maturity-wise, some of our youth classes might be on a higher level at times than some of our adult classes.
Most times, probably.
Which makes it interesting and fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so you learned a lot, obviously, from the Joplin program and all that. That was a really cool experience, it seemed like, that you did.
Yeah, it was very educational in my eyes for it. Like, it really opened my eyes, mainly too, to like kind of like the lives that they go through. Not even on a coaching aspect, but a lot of them, I would see them multiple times. Like they would get out of the program, they come back in, they get out and come back in. And I think I asked one of the counselors, like, man, like that kid's back again. And they're like, yeah, like their home lives are worse than here, so they intentionally try to come here. So then it kind of flipped a switch to where I was like, this could be really helpful for this kid. Like, like they could find something out of it. And actually one kid that I do remember, he was really into, like, he was very respectful. He was really into the coaching. He'd always ask questions. He'd always do it. I'd ask him, and he'd try really hard. And he ended up getting a job as like cleaning a CrossFit gym.
Oh, cool.
And he was wanting to do that to work in to get his level 1 and eventually like coach. And hopefully that worked out. I mean, I haven't heard from him because I don't really have any way of contacting him. But for someone to even like have that drive to like go get a job and then like go try to pursue something bigger than just himself is like, it's pretty cool. Like if that's one person that got changed, that was worth it.
Yeah. Life altering.
Yeah.
Legitimately.
Hopefully.
And life saving for people like that too.
Yeah. Very helpful.
I mean, this kind of may transition right into that, but like, so what do you like most about coaching, and like, why do you coach?
What I like most about it, I mean, it's kind of two parts. Like one, I mean, like helping people is really fulfilling. Like it's, it's not like always about like the top level athlete either. It's about everybody. And when anybody accomplishes something, I'm really happy for them.
Right.
that may be selfish on my part then, because then I feel really proud of that person, like I helped them get to a goal.
Yeah.
So, I really want to help people because I like, like their eyes light up because they did like their first, handstand or their first wall ball to whatever height or target or weight or whatever. And like those things are really fulfilling. And then like the whole social interaction with everybody at a CrossFit gym is very like rewarding because there's a lot of relationships that you wouldn't have if you weren't in here.
Yep.
There's people from walks of life that I would have never talked to just because I didn't come across their paths.
Right.
They're great people. And I think I value the people, the friendships and the people I know in a CrossFit gym more than some people I've known most of my life, because they're really good people, and I'm very happy that I got to meet them.
Right.
So it's almost invaluable of like getting to be here every day, and not even just for like 1 hour if I was a member, but I'm here all day most days, and I get to talk to a lot of different people and have those relationships. So that's probably the most rewarding part about it, which is probably what keeps me doing that.
Right.
It feels very fulfilling in that way.
It is. No, you're totally right. Fulfilling in, like you said, those different ways.
Yeah.
Those different manners and stuff like that, which is very different in places that aren't CrossFit gyms.
Yeah.
So it's.
Yeah. I mean, I was actually just thinking this morning, like it's somewhat of a customer service industry, but like how many other places do people have that close of a relationship with all their customers?
Right.
Like, grocery store, it's not like every single person that walks in the door and things like that. So I mean, like I was actually thinking like we're really lucky that we have 150 to 200 relationships that are coming in the doors all the time.
Unique, different.
Yeah.
We can learn from.
Yeah.
Right. So you've been coaching a while. How many years? About 4, 5, 6.
I think it's going on 7,
12, something like that.
7.
Yeah.
7-ish.
Greater than or equal to 7.
Yeah. Not 5, but not 10.
Not 5. Okay. Perfect. And now, I mean, in the last couple of years, you've been doing a bit more behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
What do you like of those things? Like for those of you guys that don't know, Corey even sets up all of this podcast, this audio, this video,
It's gonna look really good.
all this kind of stuff. Yeah. And so major credit on those ends, but many more things that people don't understand goes on behind the scenes. And you're very involved. Do you enjoy that? Do you not? I hope so, because obviously I'm the one that kind of helps you there.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
No, yeah. I mean, it's all very, it's fun. I mean, it's learning. And I mean, like, I think both of us have kind of joked about it, and to an extent, like coaching's the easiest part of the day.
Yeah.
It's the easiest hour of the day or whatever.
It's the most fun.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah.
Because that's more the relief or like the fun part of the job. And not that the other stuff isn't fun, but sometimes it's work, like planning this podcast or social media or like photos or like just kind of even planning anything on like that social media side takes a little more work than what it seems. It's a little bit harder than just snapping a photo and posting it.
Right.
Takes some planning and some thought. Programming is one thing that takes it, either like it works or it doesn't work. And I mean, you've done it for long enough too, there's days where you're like, this works and this is awesome and this is fun and I can't wait to do this. And there's other days where you're like, so there's an air squat and there's a push up. What else is there?
Yeah.
And you can't really, the creative part isn't quite there. And
right.
There's days where you really just sit there struggling and the pieces don't fit together the way you want. And then there's days where it does.
Right.
But it is fun to have goals and like, plans for people in that where, right now we're doing like a squat cycle and, like I want people to improve their squat. And so we put them in a position to where they can be very successful if they stick to the program and they stay healthy and stuff. So it's almost like a lab setting in that, and that kind of fulfills that, I guess, kinesiology aspect of it, of where you guys are all the guinea pigs of my tests.
Right. Right.
And I mean, we've talked about it too, is we'll have programming done for the week or, like we're Thursday in and like Friday is a ton of legs and we're like, dude, their legs have been smashed. And so we'll change it because, it's smarter to not have people get hurt than, to be prideful and do the workout that you programmed.
Yeah.
And it's still a learning experience. I think anyone that's been done CrossFit long enough can write a workout and do a workout. It's not that hard, but to have a bigger plan to it and have kind of the macro perspective, the lens from up top to see everything is harder than what it seems on the surface. You know, open gym's a great example. People are like, oh, I got this awesome workout, and they come in and they do it, and they got a great workout in. But if we gave everybody in the gym that workout, it probably wouldn't go as well as that one person did.
Yep.
So there's kind of other factors to kind of
There's so many
consider.
there's so many, like you said, factors to put into that, right? There's what
Yeah.
do we fit into an hour-long class time? How
Yeah.
do we warm people up correctly? How do we keep it safe? And how do we explain it from a coach's perspective? How do we modify it correctly? How do we get them
Yeah.
on the same time? And how do we make it a little bit enjoyable and not break them day to day? Because a lot of places might, or a lot of people can think of a workout that's great, but right then you put it together over a week span or a month span, back to back to
Yeah.
back, and it could ruin stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
I think one thing I've learned with that is definitely it's almost like a less is more perspective on like the day stuff, in
mhm.
the sense of like the class doesn't have to have like 6 different parts to it and
Right.
like all these complexity things. Like it can be pretty straightforward, and that opens up time for the coaching.
Right.
Um, that way, like, we can coach and we can provide information and value, and things that, people have been coming for 5 years may learn, and things that
Right.
people have never, really been here for 3 months or whatever will learn those things too. But if we just put too much in, we don't have time to teach it. We just have time to manage it, and that's not really the same as coaching.
Yeah, I'm very guilty of making that mistake
Yeah.
5, 6 years ago, and you put everything in, you know, it'll barely fit in time, and then it's not productive for anyone.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I think there's more into just being able to like kind of have a flow and have a rhythm and stuff than just like, we gotta go, we gotta go, we gotta go. This
Right.
time, this is it. And it just makes like a more relaxed environment to where people, I think, enjoy it a little bit more.
Right.
Than yelling at them that we got to start.
Right. So on like kind of moving away from coaching, what are some of the things that you really enjoy doing outside of the gym, or what do you really kind of enjoy with your time?
I mean, like the big thing that I planned for this year, and now the year's coming to an end, I was pretty happy that I got to do it, was spend more time outside, as
Okay.
far as backpacking, camping, hiking, and things like that. Something I love, and it's something that I always say I'll do more of. And every year it seems like, oh man, like I missed the season to where it's, the ideal time to go. So I was pretty happy I got to put a few bigger trips together, some shorter trips together and stuff. And that stuff's really fun for me. I have a motorcycle. I like to ride that.
Yeah.
It's therapeutic in a way, and it's, a fun way to kind of move, especially
Mhm.
in California when there's a lot of traffic and not a lot of places to go. It's a nice way to get away and get away
Yeah.
from traffic.
I could imagine.
Those are two big things. And my dog. My dog's
Your
cute.
dog.
And
Yeah.
he's fun. So it's nice, like going home and there's always someone like happy to see you, no matter what. So if you've had like a bad day or a long day or stressful day, he's always there.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
It can help you kind of like check out from, because you get, whether it's work or it's a relationship or whatever it is, right? You get stuck in that, like the whole world revolves around that.
Yeah.
And that if something goes wrong and it kind of ruins your day, but then you go to see a smiling face
Yeah.
of a life that like loves you.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it wipes away some of the stress. I mean, it's still there, but it puts it on the back burner at least.
Yeah.
So
That's a nice thing. So motorcycle riding, obviously you have a lot of tattoos. You like Disney.
yeah,
You
I do like
frequent
Disney.
Disneyland. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a fun little like. I live pretty close to it, and so you get away and you just go there for a few hours, hang out. My girlfriend and I will go, and some days it's so busy that the rides are too long to wait for, so we just walk around or we have a drink and just hang out and stuff. But yeah, so it's a fun way to. I like I didn't grow up around here to where Disney was like a thing I went to as a kid. So whenever I first moved here, I was like, why is a bunch of grown adults going to Disney and like it so much, and why are they so into it?
Right.
And I started going, and I was like, all right, this is fun. And like, as cheesy as it is, and like, I mean, you see through the fact that it is like it's a show, right? Or
Mhm.
it's fake, it's theatrical. Like
Right.
the grass isn't really grass or whatever. Like, but it kind of like just you escape a little bit, and like you kind of just go into a different world, and the outside world's out there, and you have a little fun inside, and it's just like a different environment than anywhere else you can be. So it's a
Right.
fun place. Like friends and I will go, or my girlfriend and I will go and just hang out or have a drink or two and make
Okay.
it a fun day. It's a nice little staycation, I
Yeah.
guess.
Anything that's local to here and
Yeah.
stuff like that. All right, fun little quick question. What's your goofiest tattoo you've got? Or your
Um,
weirdest tattoo?
Well, if you remember Brandon, Brandon Hughes.
Yeah.
Him and I went and got random tattoos one day,
Cute.
and he got a pug with a top hat,
I remember him getting that.
and I got a UFO with a guy getting abducted that says "Hop in, dork." And if you see this and you're in my class, you have to guess where it is.
Oh, uh-oh, because I haven't
It's
seen
not
it.
on my arm.
I don't think I've seen it. Okay, did you guys go together?
Yeah, and
That's
so
cute.
funny story is he really wanted to do it,
Okay.
and I was like, all right, like I'll go. I'll get a random tattoo, and um, he went first. He got his tattoo, and then the guy's like, all right, like you're up next, and Brandon's like, all right, see you later,
Oh.
and just left me there. And I was like, all right, and I sat for like 2 hours while we waited, and he left, and I just got tattooed alone, and so I got
Nice.
that while he was somewhere else.
Nice. Were you guys
Yeah.
drunk?
No,
Oh,
no,
even better.
that was a very sober decision.
Even better. Perfect.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, hopefully Brandon's listening, so he
Oh,
can
yeah.
he
if
can
you see
share in this with
he
you.
left me.
Right. Awesome. Well, that's, I think, a good place for us to wrap it up. Well, Corey, hope you guys got to know Corey a little bit better. Corey, we very much appreciate having you on the team. We love having you
Thank you.
here. Huge part of what goes on that the people see, and a huge part of what people don't see. So thank you for being on the team.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.